Okay, we've got one more section. Sometimes radians are not given in terms of pi. And for this reason, you really do have to rely on the conversion, the conversion factor, which is 180 over pi. So notice that all of these angles are not in, don't have a pi included on them. They're still radians, but the pi has been multiplied in to get some number of radians. Okay, so for instance, 2/3 pi would be 2/3 times pi. So that would be 2.1 radians. Okay, so you can have radians not in terms of pi. Okay, so if we start with the 4.75, now this is asking, we'll read directions this time. If an angle is drawn in standard position, which each of the following radiant angles determine the quadrant its terminal ray lies. So here we're really just looking at where that terminal ray ends up. Which quadrant is it in? So we're going to convert this to degrees so that we could easily figure out what quadrant it's in. So we're going to start with taking that 4.75 and we're going to multiply that by 180 over pi. Okay, so remember this is really like it's over 1, so it's really one fraction. So if we multiply those together, 4.75 times 180 is 855. And then we have to divide by pi. Now, when we divide by pi, we get 272.1 dot dot dot. So it's approximately 272 degrees. And that's really all we need to know, an approximation. It doesn't ask to round it to anything particular, but we're really just trying to find the quadrant it's in. So 272 degrees would be between 270 and 360, so it would lie in quadrant 4. Okay, now the next one, we have negative 5.28 times 180 over pi. Now, if you're using a calculator and the fraction bar, you don't have to do this in 2 steps. You don't have to multiply it by the 180 and then divide by pi. You can just multiply it by 180 over pi. All right, so that's what I'm going to do this time. And when I do that all in one step, I end up getting a negative 302.5 dot 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 degrees. Okay, which is approximately negative 303 degrees. Well, that's approximately how many degrees it is, but it's asking for the quadrant. So when we're going in reverse, remember this is negative 90 and negative 180 and negative 270 and then negative 360. So 303 would end up being in quadrant 1. All right, let's go ahead with the next one. So now we have 1.65 times 180 over pi. And I'm going to put that into my calculator all at once. And I end up getting 94.53 dot dot dot. Now, what you want to do here is you want to pause the video and do this calculation on your own and make sure you're getting the same thing that I'm getting. I'm going rather quickly because I figured this out ahead of time. All right, so that is approximately 95 degrees. Okay, now 95 degrees, remember, is between 90 and 180, so that would be in quadrant 2. And there goes my dog Wiley again, making lots of noise. Probably a dog outside. Okay, so now we have 7.38 times 180 over pi. So when I go ahead and multiply that out, I get that is equal to 422.84 dot dot dot. Okay, and that is approximately 423 degrees. Now I need a coterminal angle that's less than 360 in order to figure out which quadrant it's in. So I'm going to subtract 360. Remember, that's how we get coterminal angles, is by adding 360 and subtracting 360. But I want it to be between 0 and 360. So I'm going to subtract 360 and I get 63 degrees. And we know that 63 degrees would be in quadrant 1. All right, so this is the last part of this Google form. You're going to go ahead and do the last section. Make sure you understand it. And remember, I have office hours, and so does Miss Jackson. So if you are having trouble with anything in these lessons, remember you can always join us during office hours. Or you can always just email me and ask me if that time doesn't work. You can always email me and see if there's a different time that might work for both of us. Okay? Happy converting, and I will see you next time.